Hi, beautiful people. Oh my God. Um, I have really terrible insomnia, so it is about 3 a.m. right now. And I recently decided to do a Dear Bria series. I think more now than ever before, I've been getting like these crisis calls. I mean, just in general, people don't really reach out to check up on me. Like a lot of times when someone reaches out to me, they're going through some type of crisis. And I love that because I think that, in real life, like everybody needs to have a lifeline, like you need to be able to have someone that you can reach out to that's not going to judge you about your situation and can like help give you some clarity on stuff. And I enjoy the fact that like when a person is going through that they think Brittany, you know what I'm saying? To me it's like a big testament of like who I am as a person, my profession and all of that good stuff. So I'm with it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right into it. So I decided to do the Dear Brittany series because it is so hard to get people to allow me to interview them. Of course, nobody wants to come on camera talking about their drama. Oh my God, it's raining. It sounds so beautiful. Nobody wants to come on camera and talk about their business and, put all this stuff out there. So I was like, we can be incognito, just send me the letters and I'll read the letters, and I will respond this way. So let's go on and get into it. So this letter, I got about 4 letters last week. And they just basically sent it to my DMs. Um, 3 were from Instagram and I had one from Facebook. And I was going through them and I realized that sometimes, you're in real crisis. Like sometimes people are like in real serious crisis, they're going through some type of trial. And they do need a little bit of guidance. But then in other cases, like what you're going through is more perspective based. If your perspective is off balance, it can cause you more anxiety than the situation itself is. So yeah. So this one, I'm just go ahead and read it. It says, my ex came back into the picture for the 8th time. We are so good when we are good, but when we're bad, we're terrible. He is my ideal guy, but we hit these rough patches and take little breaks from time to time. He says that he wants to be with me and plans to marry me. I want to have a future with him, but we've been doing this for 4 years, and the only thing that's getting better is the sex. What should I do? Ooh. Ah. I feel like I know this. I feel like I've seen this before, like on a movie or something. It's so crazy, but it's very interesting, like dealing with exes, because it always comes back to whatever that pressing issue is that keeps you guys kind of butting heads. For some people, I know in the past, for me, I'll speak from experience. For me in the past, there was this guy that I dated and we were really great together when we were good. But when we were bad, a lot of our disagreements came from religion. We grew up, differently. And a lot of like our religious conversations, they always went left. And it was like, well, if that's how you feel, if that's what you believe in, and just all of these like ultimatums. And I know that that isn't like a deal breaker for everybody because you see so many interracial relationships. So apparently somebody able to like make it work. You know what I mean? Um, but I think it would be a great idea for you guys to actually sit down together and do like an outline of like where y'all see this going. It's funny because my husband and I, we did one when we were like, I think we were only dating for like 6 months or 7 months at the time. And I asked him like, where do you see your life, in 5 years? And that's like a fully loaded question to ask somebody and just expect them to have an answer. And so we went, he had a whiteboard. We still have that whiteboard. So we went and got the whiteboard and we wrote out like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, and like for ourselves personally and what we would want to see in our relationship if we were to stay together. And it was really interesting because I felt like it gave us a good visual understanding of like what each other wanted. So in my mind, I thought like, okay, I'll be ready for this by this year, I'll be ready for that by that year. And so that way I felt like it kind of lessened the confusion, because I was able to see that like his idea of like moving along in a relationship was a little bit more stretched out than I had planned. And so we really kind of met in the middle in real life. But I think that writing it out would give you both an opportunity to see where each other are. Because sometimes, relationships, like, you can be running off of your own emotions and how you feel about a person, and not everybody loves the same. Not everybody is going at the same pace, is what I mean. Um, so if I am, green lights, gun blazing, I'm shooting to see this, progress into the next phase, but someone else is still hung up on something, or maybe there was a disagreement that we kind of hovered over it because we didn't want to, cause another argument. And that's a really tough situation to be in when you are dating someone that and y'all can't go there. Like, it's a right way to argue. You can disagree and it not be, the end, or be devastating or cause y'all pain. Um, but one thing that stuck out to me was that in the letter it says that you guys often go through these rough patches and y'all take these breaks, and I'm wondering what's happening during those breaks, because I know, like, women, like, we can separate, and mind our business, do our meditation, gather ourselves, gather our thoughts, but men usually don't leave. They want, let me see, how can I put this? I'm not gonna say that a guy won't leave and go somewhere to, like, clear their head, but it's like he's gonna leave his woman and go where? Does that make sense? Like, you're gonna leave your home with your woman, or whatever, the case is, to go and do what, where, with who, you know? So when you're taking a break, what's actually happening? When this is like, when these breaks come about, is this like free game where y'all can, like, go and do whatever y'all want to do? Is this like, a couple hours? Is this like, some weeks? Like, I'm wondering, like, what that break really looks like, because if that break is an extended break, that allows a very nice size window for somebody to come into the picture, and that can create even more confusion. Yeah, it's really hard getting to that place in a relationship where you feel safe enough to be transparent, because we live in a world now where we can sell each other, we can sell each other like fanciness. Like, one thing I tell my husband all the time was like, I love my high school relationships and my, like, early college relationships, because we were so poor. We were like struggling kids, and we didn't have anything else to give each other other than our true selves. And a lot of that is like missing now, because I can sell you all this sexy, all this voluptuousness. I can get you hyped up on all of this, when I'm riding or whatever, all that stuff. So I think it would be a really good idea to sit back and decide, what would it take for the next time that you guys have a disagreement or butt heads, that you guys don't take a break. you know it's funny because well, my husband and I, when we first started, like, dating seriously, and this is like after, like, the whole, 3, 4 months of the relationship pass, and you getting to the point where y'all getting comfortable, and when we would disagree or we would argue, I couldn't hear him. And it was really crazy, but he would say stuff, and then he would ask me like, did you hear? And I would say something, and he'd be like, I just said that. And I'd be like, no, you didn't. And it was like, I literally couldn't hear him, because when we argued, I would get so in my head that I wasn't receiving or processing anything that he was saying to me. And so, and so we would literally go and get pen and paper and write out what we were saying, so that we could make sure that we were actively listening and catching each other. Does that make sense? It's crazy. I know that's extreme. That's crazy, but it's true. Um, you have to understand each other's values. A lot of times people be like, oh well, you know, I'm black, you black, this should work. Or folks will think, I'm a Christian, you a Christian, so this should be easy. But people's values go deep, run very deep. And it's not it's not always a cultural thing. It's not always a religious thing, but it's important to understand each other's values, because if you are the type of person that needs reassurance even in the middle of an argument, then that is going to be disastrous for a person that needs to disappear or get away every time that there's an argument. Not saying that you guys can't grow to do better together, but you have to be able to have that like candid transparency. And I'm not talking about, on the surface, but deeper. And it really sounds like you guys could both benefit from some individual counseling. I know a lot of times like people put down counseling like, oh my God, like what, like something's wrong with me if I go to counseling. But to be honest with you, like something is wrong with everybody. Like everybody on this planet is messed up. If you really want to be honest, like everybody on this planet is messed up. Like that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us beautiful. Our struggles, our trials, our triumphs, they all make us special and unique. And sometimes the way that you respond to situations, even in an argument, the way that you deal with conflict in a relationship, um, even running away from conflict, all of that is like learned behavior. And when you're talking about getting married, baby, oh, child. That running away from conflict is not going to produce a happy home. Because then it's tension. I don't know what y'all signs is, but yeah, you don't want that. And I would advise individual counseling for the both of you so that y'all can talk through your own stuff, because that's something that I really didn't realize until I got married, was that when you're in a relationship, not only do you have this other person's, thoughts, feelings, opinions, perspectives, emotions to deal with, but you have your own stuff, and plus your baggage, and and sometimes it can be a lot to juggle at once. And I feel like counseling therapy is a great way to um, get clarity. It's a great way to promote self-awareness. Because a lot of times we don't really have that. We're not really taught that. Um, but yeah, I think that it's really dope that you guys are having better sex. That's always an A plus. And but you don't want to get to the point where that's the only thing that keeps the relationship going. It's like, oh, we drift apart and then we back, calm, and then we come together and we have sex, and then, a couple days later it's back chaotic, and then we separate again. Like, because then that's not necessarily a relationship. That's something a little bit different. Um, but above all else, I say just be honest with yourself. Like, if when you're with someone and they make you feel safe and you feel at home, and they encourage you and they speak life into you and they motivate you, you know what I mean? And a large part about having a life partner is that you have to know them. You have to be able to understand how they handle all situations, not just when times are good, but how are they when things go left? How are they when, you know, the shit hit the fan? Like what are they gonna cower out? Are they gonna, go hide? Are they gonna, stand up to it? Like, you need to know what it is that you're committing to as a life partner or for a life partner, because you know, taking those vows, getting married is such a huge and it's such a big commitment. And sometimes people fall in love with the idea of being married more than they fall in love with their ideal person. So I would make a list of like everything that you think is perfect about this dude, like everything that you think is perfect, like his eyebrows, his lips, his ways, and then I would make another list on the other side of everything that you think he needs to improve on. And when you look at that list, I need you to be able to determine whether or not you would choose him, even if nothing ever changed. Even if all of the bad stuff or all of the flaws that you think he has, if they never change, could you still see yourself with that person? Could you still see yourself happy, healthy, thriving with that person? Because mental health, emotional health is so important. Spiritual health is so important. Um, and the person that you attach yourself to, I'm not going to say that they have the power to, um, they don't control you. You know what I'm saying? But that person does have a large amount of access to you, and they contribute a lot to your happiness or to your misery. And I remember when I was in seventh grade, my teacher, oh my God, my teacher just always just say interesting stuff to me. But there's one teacher that I had, she would always say, Brittany, you always have to keep you a little extra on the side because the man of your dreams can become your worst nightmare at any given time, any given day. She would say that like all the time and only to me. And I never understood. I was like, is she trying to like curse me or something? Like I never understood it until I got older and I realized just how true that was. Um, so even in a relationship and its quest to make each other happy, to make each other better, there's still a part of yourself that has to be reserved to the Lord. Or whatever it is that you believe in. I never like to like force my religion on anybody, but I always encourage people to believe in something. um you have to reserve your heart and understand the order in which it goes, because it's not my man, my kids, me, and then God. It has to be the God you serve, and then everything else falls in line, falls in order. And I believe that when you do that soul searching and when you make that list, I think you're gonna know exactly what it is that you need to do. I think you're gonna be clear about whether this is something that you need to hold on to see through, or if this is something that can just be a beautiful part of your story. And I'm a firm believer that sometimes you have to let people go so that they can grow. Um, just because someone isn't ready right now doesn't necessarily mean that they won't ever be. But sometimes you have to let people go and let them grow so that they can learn and they can live. So when they're ready, when they're mature, regardless if they come back to you or not, when they move forward, they'll be more certain. And one thing that I avoid a lot is uncertainty or indecisiveness. I want you, but not right now. Stay kaput, while I go play games, don't go nowhere. I'm gonna be right back. Because if this is what you're choosing, if I am the prize to you, if I am the apple of your eye, then this is where you should be. Um, let your actions lead and your words follow. So yeah, you said a lot of nice things. Yeah, we had this, you know, amazing sex. But then where do your actions lead? What do your actions show me? What do your actions tell me? And it all doesn't happen at one, big cahoot. Sometimes, and I'm learning this in my marriage, is that sometimes as a woman, you just have to be quiet. You have to be quiet and allow things to fall in the order and in the place that they're supposed to, because you can't always fix everything. And I love watching Rated to Love, y'all. I was watching the latest season, and the couple that made it to the end, Liz and Jason, one of the things that she said was, I found myself in most of my past relationships always sacrificing more and giving more and having to do more in order to make the relationship work, in order to sustain the relationship. And I won't say that that's never going to be the case, but I truly believe that when love is there, you know, and I mean real love, not lust, okay, because lust will come and go 100 times. Not lust, but when there is real love, you feel it. There is security, there is peace, there is safety in that space. And yeah, I hope this helps. I hope this helps. I'm really pulling for you to gain clarity. Um, some people have the ability to wait 20 years for somebody to get their act right together. I'm not one of those women, so I can't speak on that. Um, but we are in a time now where like options are everywhere, and sometimes people have a hard time making decisions just because there are so many options. It's like, oh, I got this whole crayon box of options. I don't want to, and I really got to just pick one. So that's why I say, it's not a bad thing to just allow people to glow and grow and mature. So if and when they choose you, you know that there is some substance behind it. I wish you all the best. I ask that anybody who's watching this, please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And go ahead and drop a comment below. Give this person some advice. If it's something that I said, that you want me to go deeper into or elaborate on, let me know. And yeah, don't forget to DM me those strawberry letters. I'm going to be running an 8-week series. I'm a night owl. So I'll definitely be reading the letters, commenting on them, and posting them live. So yeah, until next time, you guys, be good, be blessed, be you. Bye.